So you wrote You First, and then you wrote The Good Fight.
That's right.
So if you had to give us 5 nuggets about teamwork from all your work, your research, what would they be, Liane?
Yeah. So I guess the accountability one is the first one. So people say, why did you write a book about teamwork and call it You First? And so I think the first nugget is you actually can change your team from any seat at the table, right? Because teams are a dynamic. No matter what role you play, if you change the role you're playing, you will change your team. So that's certainly one. The good fight is really about the fact that some things are worth fighting for. And we've come to believe that conflict means we're doing it wrong. We label people who create tension as poor team performers, and we need to stop that. So that leads to maybe number 3, which is that conflict debt is much scarier and much more toxic to a team than actual conflict. So that's another one. What are some others that would be important to me? I guess the other field that I'm kind of working in now is around how we need to move out of the era of managers being all about managing performance. And in today's era of perpetual change, the role of a manager is now to manage attention and manage anxiety. And so that whole idea, and that'll probably be the next book. So
I love that.
I'm pretty excited about that. And
so can you share a little bit more now, Liane?
Yeah. So essentially what we've got human brains that have evolved for millennia to be really good at dealing with some kind of an acute stressful moment. And now we've got, instead of having like change as this discrete event-based thing that we do in our organizations, like every once in a while, and rarely enough that we have to have binders with tabs and laminated stuff. And now we're in perpetual change, and the human animal is not well suited to perpetual arousal. And so because of that, we're getting all sorts of stress behaviors. We're seeing all sorts of dysfunction, and people are burning out. So what I'm helping leaders to focus on is the first thing to earn the right to manage someone's performance is to manage their attention. We need to ruthlessly prioritize. And I think a lot of leaders are abdicating their responsibility to ruthlessly prioritize. So if we can get people more focused, one of my most popular articles in the last while is about how I don't think it's our workload that's killing us, it's our thought load and all the things we're fretting about. And so leaders have a very important responsibility to help us manage that attention. And then next, if we're in this perpetual state of arousal, our emotions are very close to the surface. Those emotions are often, we try to suppress them, or they are invalidated by people, which makes us very volatile. And so the next thing we have to do as leaders is help people manage that anxiety by, validating their emotions, working through them so that they don't boil over and turn into drama, which is, bad for all of us. So, that's another topic that I'm super excited about. And yes, as I said, probably a year or so from now, I'll start writing that book.
I'm looking forward to that. That sounds so exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. And there's just more and more research coming online all the time. So there's a new, in the part about, managing anxiety, there's some new research out about emotional contagion, how much, one person on the team's emotion is absolutely spreads to others. But then a new study about how when you invalidate that emotion by, you tell somebody like, just breathe, or my favorite one, it's business, it's not personal, all these things. There's new evidence that it actually causes the emotions to spike, not to dissipate. So the new research coming on stream every day that will be part of that book when I finally sit down to write it. One of my lines I created to help people understand is that if you can't make a dent in the problem, reduce the dent it makes in you. And sometimes you just have to protect yourself, and there are toxic bosses and there are bad situations, and you've tried to change it and you've done all sorts of other things, and at some point it's okay to say, I can't make a dent in this problem, but I deserve to reduce the size of the dent it makes in me. So that's my other one.
That's an amazing perspective. And the theme I'm hearing throughout is, even though it's about the team, it's ultimately what you can do as an individual.
Oh, and that's going to be me every time, Shiyen. Like, it's so funny. I definitely come back to what can you control? Because otherwise, what's the use in fretting over things that you can't? And I think the other thing is, like, don't sit there thinking you have no control or no agency. You have more than you think.